Alright guys, so in this quick video, which should be maybe 15-20 minutes, and if I'm below 20 minutes, I'm actually going to make 2 spreader bars. I'm going to show you how to make a very quick and easy spreader bar. And you're going to need not that many tools at all. You're going to use an X-Acto knife. And I have extra blades here, because I'm actually using the dull blade to cut the thicker plastic. So you want to get a sharp blade. You're going to use a very small drill bit. And I actually have to make this little adapter for the drill bit, because the drill bit is so small. You're going to use your glue, a drill for the drill bit, tubular plastic, and this is actually what the spreader bar will be made out of. I believe this is 3/8. I'm not exactly sure though. I'm going to make a very long one, and then with that rest of the plastic I'm going to make a short one. And then this strips of plastic. This will actually make the edge of the spreader bar, and that goes on the inside. You can see it fits perfect, and then it'll also make the lifting lugs. So that's what we're going to use here. What we're also going to use is some sandpaper, and I chose 320 grit sandpaper. And I'm actually going to start off by rounding off one of the lifting lugs. And I'm doing this because it'll make it look a lot better. And I'm sure you could use a higher grit, but I'm actually using this because I know I could get it much more precise. And you want to round it off before you drill and cut it, because for one, it's easier to hold, and when it's easier to hold, you'll obviously get it a better round or a better curve that you want. And that's pretty much exactly what I want. And I'm probably gonna make these first before the spreader bar. And now, so I can get the drill bit perfect, I'm actually just gonna mark it on there. And that seems to be perfect in the middle. And then I'm gonna take my drill bit, and there's a very, very small drill bit. That I'm using, and I use the smallest drill bit because it works perfect with the YCC shackles, and obviously the smaller the better it looks. And there's one, and now what I'm actually going to do is cut it, but I'm going to have to change my bit. And these blades I actually bought from Plastruck. And I'm going to go a little bit below where I drilled. And now, it's not exactly straight, so I'll just sand it. And I'll go through the other side with the drill bit. It's going to take a little bit more sanding, because it doesn't look like it's exactly straight, or is it? Actually, that's perfect. And with the other one now. If you want to see it straight, you know, you just put it on there like that. It's actually very off. Now, all this costs probably maybe below $15 in material. I guess if you don't got a drill, it's gonna cost you a little bit more. But I'm sure everyone has a drill, or most people do. This is actually the first one that I'm rounding the lifting lugs on, and that's a mistake I made on the other one that I made. I didn't round the lifting lugs. And you want to make it as precise as possible, as it will look best. You gotta make 4 of them as well, because you need 2 for the rigging to hook up to from the hook block, and then you need 2 on the bottom to the rigging to hook up from the load. You can see how this blade just goes right through there. And one thing I wish I had was my drill press, because I could cut them much nicer and much better. I used to do a lot on my drill press like this, and had everything perfect like that. But I don't have it anymore, and I don't feel like going to go get it out, especially just for this, because it's mine, and even if it's not exactly perfect, it doesn't really matter to me. Actually, I could use a bucket. And actually, I'm going to make 2 more of these, because I don't want to make you sit here too long. I'm going to make 2 more of these, and then once I do that, I'll start the camera back up, and I'll show you how to make the rest of it. Alright guys, so I made all the lifting lugs, and it's hard to tell, but these are the bottom ones, and these are the top. So now I'm going to actually cut the spreader bar out, and I'm going to use my more dull knife. And I'll show you how I'm going to cut it. Now, I don't have an actual dimension for this. Say, I'm not going to just make it 6 inches. I'm just going to eyeball it. And I'll probably make it around that large. And I'm going to go to the corner and just dig into it. And then rock back and forth on it, and then come over here and rock back and forth on that, and then come right here and rock back and forth on that, and then just cut it like that. And you could tell it's obviously not that even, so I'm gonna hold it upright and then just use the plastic like itself to level it, and then sand it on the sandpaper. And I think when people make a lot of these plastic accessories or attachments, they don't use the sandpaper to their advantage like this. And sometimes you see stuff that isn't smooth or anything like that. Now I'm just gonna go in the middle of it and cut out all the extra plastic. And now I'm just going to come back in there, because you will have little strings of plastic in there. And that seems about perfect. Now we're going to use this piece right here, and that's going to go on the inside there. But you can tell that there still is little pieces of plastic. Another way you could do this is just by going like that. And there we go, you see that will fit in there perfectly. And then this will fit in there perfectly. And this side, I must have cut this side, because there's strings of plastic. There we go. Now to cut it out, I'm going to switch my blades. And this is where it starts to get very simple. This is probably the easiest part. This may take 1 or 2 tries if you're not going to measure it. And a lot of times I don't measure my stuff as crazy as it sounds, because it really doesn't need it. You can tell right here, I'm just going to line it up with the edge. And then cut it from right there. Now, this actually may take 1 or 2 tries to get perfect. And I actually just broke the tip of my blade right there, and it's actually in there. But we'll see how this works, if this works fine. And this is how you're going to do it. You're just going to take it like that and put it in there. And there you go. It didn't measure it, and it works perfect. Now to, because you could see, I don't know if you could tell, but it's not exactly flat. You're going to put it like this and then slide this piece of plastic through the top. And then there you go, it's perfect. And now you're going to take the glue, which is plastic struck weld, and you're going to get a decent amount of it. And you're going to glue it, but as it's like that, as it's drying, what you're going to do right now is bring your tube through it and then push the sides into it. And then hold it there for a second or two. If you want to, you could adjust it a little bit. And you can tell it's going to take a little bit of sanding, but that's alright, because I got filler too. Now we're going to do the other side. That side's drying, really doesn't need to, you know, hold it there or anything. It's probably dry as it is. Now we're going to cut this side. And let's see if we can get it on the first try. Now this side is going to be a little bit more difficult. Nothing crazy, because you know you can't slide your piece through. So it may take a little bit more, and you can see it doesn't fit a little bit, so I'm just going to take my sandpaper and sand it down just a little bit, because it could be just off by just a little bit. And there we go. That piece, this side is in. Now I'm going to take it and glue it. Now you know, you can't really, I guess, use too much glue. I'm actually going to take a little bit extra now and put it on this side. Actually, that's enough right now. So there's the base of a spreader bar that fills the insides. And you can tell it's a very long one. And actually what I might do, I'm still on this side, I probably will not do it, but you could add supports in the middle if you want. You could actually add a lug in the middle to have a piece of rigging going up to the top, so when you would lift up the spreader bar, it wouldn't fold in, which I'm not going to do in the video right here. But you could do that if you want. Now these, this side looks alright, and this side is actually, it's going to need a little bit of sanding, but the glue isn't exactly dry, so we're not going to sand that right now. But what we're going to do now is attach the lugs. And for the lugs up top, I like to make them just like, it's hard because the glue isn't dry yet. Not the glue isn't, there's no glue on them. But I like to put them just like that. If you put them like this, it doesn't really look exactly right, although you can put them like that. But how you're going to do this is just like this. You're going to put a decent amount of glue there. Then you're going to take it and just put it right in the middle. And that's actually, that one's perfect. That's exactly centered. And now you're going to take your glue, right? But you're going to dry the brush off, and then you're going to use the XX glue on there and just spread it around there. And now take your other one and glue this one. The glue seems to dry, so I'm going to actually add a little bit more over here. And now, since this one is dry enough not to hold the load, but dry enough where it's still a little bit tacky, I'm going to add a little bit more glue. And the same thing with this one, just a little bit more. And I like to put a lot of glue on these for one reason. That's because this is where the load is actually going to be held onto the spreader bar from. And there's the top. And now we're going to do the bottom. And I guess this get a little bit tricky, but what I basically do is I just put it on something and put it upside down, and then get the glue, put a dab of it right there, take your eyelid and just attach it. You want to make sure it's about even with the other one. And then take your other one and attach that one as well. And then take more glue over here. And go over here again. And there is the spreader bar. There it is right there, guys. You could add, I guess you could add more detailing to it. I don't have small enough plastic to add like supports in the middle or anything like that. I guess if you wanted, you could kind of add, you know, like stuff onto it. I don't know. But there's the spreader bar right there, guys. You can tell it's a big one, it's a long one. And actually what I'm going to do now is sand the edge over here. And since I am actually making a video on this, I would recommend you wait a little bit longer for the lugs to dry before you sand it, because you don't want to break one off. And these sides over here are actually going to take a little bit of filler. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to get that right now and show you it. Alright, so now what I'm going to use is Squadron's putty, and we're just going to fill the sides. And I had to do this on my other one, but whatever, for some reason I had to do it on this one, but it's good for the video in case you guys have to do this as well. So, I'm gonna take a small amount of this, and we're just gonna rub it on there just like that. And then we might actually have enough right here to do the opposite side. And this side doesn't really need it, but you know, yeah, well, I got it out, and to fix the cracks, not really the cracks, but to fill the little creases, you might as well. And if you could clean up as much as possible. And there they are, the sides are filled, and it's done. And what I just do here is I just take the extra. Now, like I said in the beginning of the video, I was going to make two, but I'm actually just going to keep one for now. And there's a spreader bar, guys. Once the filler's dry, and I could probably sand that in like an hour or two, and then paint it. And then I'll show you what it looks like finished in another video. But that's how you make a spreader bar. You could also make a round one, which I'm also going to make a video on. I'm not actually sure when I will do it, and the round one is much easier, and I'll show you in that video how to do it. But I hope you like this video, guys. I was asked to make this, and I think it was a very decent video, because it shows you how to make these. These sell for maybe 70 bucks a piece. Although there only is one downfall to this. You have to watch how much weight you lift, because although these are secured on there decently, they really can't lift like a North Scott excavator or something, because you don't want it to break, obviously. So I guess you could say it's kind of more of a display piece. Although there's one solution to that. If you make your own plastic loads like I do, you can actually support them from this, since the loads are plastic and there's really not much weight hanging from them. But you have to keep in mind about that weight issue. But besides that, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it.